Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back. If you're a Nintendo fan or even a Pokemon fan, I'm sure you've been a bit anxious for news over the last couple months. For Nintendo fans, we've been waiting for the long-awaited Nintendo Switch successor. Pokemon fans, we've also been waiting on the sequel for Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Legends ZA, or as I've been calling it for months, Pokemon Zaza. It seems like we've been left in the dark for the past few months in terms of those announcements, but I believe we're getting closer to some news than most people think due to a few details. If you didn't know, we recently had Pokemon Worlds a few days ago. They showed off a lot of announcements for the TCG and other side games like Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite. The elephant in the room was that there was no Legend Zaza announcement. And when the game first got announced, we already knew it was going to come out in 2025. The only issue was when in 2025. A lot of people had assumed it'd be in January, just like how Legends Arceus was released in January. But I believe that they are purposely holding out on Zaza for three major reasons. The first being that the next generation of Pokemon will be the biggest and most important generation yet. Generation 10, or as some may call it Generation X, will be the 10th mainline Pokemon game in a new region. To some, this may not seem as important, but I believe that they're putting a lot more into the next generation than we currently think. Like I said in one of my previous videos, the more time that a Pokemon game has, the more well received it usually was. For example, Diamond and Pearl came out in 2006, while Black and White released in 2010. The 4-year gap between the generations made one of the most iconic regions to date in the franchise. Since Scarlet and Violet released in 2022, and we already know that Legends ZA is releasing in 2025, I find it very likely that we may get the next mainline games in 2026. Now I know that Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet release in the same calendar year, but I feel like one of the biggest gripes that I have about Legends Arceus is the fact that the game had like zero DLC, especially when so many people felt like the game was short-lived and could have been expanded upon. Hopefully when Pokemon Legends ZA releases, they give it enough time to shine before Generation X comes out. Now the second reason is that they might want more time making the game. I'm honestly surprised that they went the entire first half of the year and they showed us nothing. Before, they were extremely confident in showing us the 5-frame Chinglings. Like, do you see that? Like they showed us that in a major reveal trailer almost a full year before the game was dropped. Like they had so much confidence. It was crazy. Now the fact that they are hiding their cards makes me believe that they hear the frustrations that the fans have and want to make this game as good as possible. Now the last reason, which will segue into our next main topic of the video, is that Nintendo wants to ensure that the Switch successor will have a very beefy launch year. There has been so many rumors about the next Switch successor that they straight up told us that we would get an announcement before March of 2025. And there are multiple other rumors about it being another Switch with backwards compatibility and better specs that make me feel like Nintendo isn't as confident with the successor as we think they should be. Now, let's be honest for a second. Out of all of the people that are Nintendo fans, how many of them do you think want a Switch that could run at 4K with 60 FPS, have graphics that can rival a PS5, and that can run games like GTA 5 and GTA 6? How many people do you think they actually want that? In reality, it's not as much as you think. The majority of people that have a Nintendo Switch are usually not on social media complaining about the Switch's hardware and how the games run and look. In all honesty, we're just a very loud minority. I see so many kids that have a Switch and they couldn't care less about what frames their Pokemon run at. Little Timmy just wants to fight with his Charizard on the go or at home. That's it. He doesn't care. I saw a dad playing Zelda while his kid watched at my job the other day, and it hit me right then and there that the Switch successor having better specs is not a good enough of a selling point for the market that Nintendo is trying to hit. Nintendo's demographic is primarily built around families and the not so hardcore game, which is why we see so many goddamn farming games in every direct that releases. Now look, don't get me wrong. I love putting a hoe in the dirt, but why do I need to see the same game made in 25 different art styles every year? Honestly, they need to start having a law made where we only get one farming game per presentation per year. Like honestly, I'm sick of this shit. Like I don't know. Like it's too much for me. I can't do this. Unless it's Stardew Valley. You know, the Stardew Valley creators next game, you know, whatever game that they make next, that's fine. I don't mind that. They're okay. They deserve it. It's a good game. Anyways, back on topic. I personally believe that Nintendo originally had a relatively weak launch roster, and that now that Pokemon got announced for the Switch for next year, they want to make it the best launch year that they possibly could have. We already know that Metroid Prime 4 has gotten delayed to 2025, and we know that a number of level 5 projects have been delayed year after year. It feels like Nintendo is trying to make it to where there is no reason for anyone to not buy the next Switch. And I believe that Pokemon is the biggest cheat code that they have. If you want to sell units, put a mainline Pokemon game on that bitch, and it'll fly off the shelves. Nintendo knows that there's a decent chance for this new Switch to not do as well as they want, which is my reasoning to believe that Legend ZA will be dropped in the same year, and honestly, it's very likely that it could be a launch day title. Now, there might be a significant gimmick that Nintendo could put on the successor, like being able to play 3DS games on it by making it dual screen, kind of like how the Samsung Fold or Flip is, but I feel like that is extremely ambitious and we should not get our hopes up that high. Now, honestly, what my hopes are for the next Switch and for the next Pokemon games are, just in general, just for Nintendo in general, is for there to be a reason to buy said things. I don't want to have to buy a Switch just for the only reason to get it is just for better specs. Like I said, that helps out us gamers, like, you know, like the gamers that care about how games run, you know, like what the frames per second is, but it's not enough. We're not enough. They need to be able to make everybody want this new Switch. And this, yeah, it's like just like the iPhone, but I know plenty of people that still have an iPhone fucking 7. That's a lie. They have an X at least. But like an iPhone X, bro, like damn, iPhone X. Like, anyways, if you guys liked what you watched or like anything relating to Nintendo or anime or whatever, be sure to leave a like and comment below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.